Hello everyone, and how are you doing? Now, since my last video, I've been doing a lot of flipping on the Grand Exchange, and I feel like I have made enough gold to kind of know what kind of things that you want to flip on the Grand Exchange as a free-to-play member. Um, I recorded my last video, not including the one yesterday where I was talking about the Twitch phishing scam. The last woodcutting one on Monday, and I've made about 800K since then. And I've been doing it by following a few principal rules. There are I should start off with rule number one. Don't try to flip items that are expensive, really expensive. And I'm talking about stuff that sells for probably 100K more. As finding the margins for those items can be somewhat difficult, and you might end up wasting money, a lot of money. So it's just a lot safer to flip the lower value items. Typically, I don't go above 40K. Now, I've made an exception for one item, but that item, it's a rare seller, and I've actually stopped buying it. Now, step number two is you're going to want to find out a margin for an item. What I mean is that, for example, I'm going to take a look for steel bars. Steel bar. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it at a higher, as high as I can, or really click this a couple times. Hey, there we go. I got my steel bar, and now I'm going to sell it for really cheap. This is where if you're thinking of getting a really expensive item, it's best not to when you're a free-to-play member, because you're going to lose a lot of money on figuring out the margin for the item. Okay, so typically, now this margin is horrible. I've been getting horrible margins this morning. For items under 1,000 coins, you want a margin of 5. That's kind of been my rule. Is if the margin is not 5, I don't go with it. So that's how you find out the margin. And what I recommend is sticking to runes, bars, and just general items. As you can see, I've sold a lot of death runes. I'm actually at my maximum for the moment, and I sold them for a margin of 5. Oh, right here. Don't mind me. That was just me having bad vision. For example, these steel bars earlier, I bought for 556 and sold for 566. So that was a margin of 10. You gotta don't. I wouldn't bother wasting your coin with a margin like this. For example, a log or a margin of 3. I'd say a margin of 5 or greater. You can be picky about your margins in free to play. It's just not worth your time, because if you have a margin of 1, there's a chance that the margin will shrink below what you bought. So I just don't recommend doing it unless there's a margin of 5. So your best bet are going to be nature, law runes, death runes. I've been doing really good with these steel bars, though. This morning the margin on them it's kind of terrible. Different bars. I'd recommend staying away from sapphire rings, as I've been burned on those a couple times now. Haven't learned my lesson. A few other items. You can do fish like swordfish, lobster, etc. But I wouldn't try to buy a bulk amount, because I find that I just can't get that bulk. I have been staying clear of sets, because they have just not been selling for me. I've been having difficulty buying them. I've been having difficulty selling them. One item, probably the highest item I get is the rune two-handed sword. We'll take a look at this. As you can see, it's under 40K. So I buy one. There we go, and I sell it. And for now, this one's margin, you're gonna want even greater distance, because it's just not worth your time otherwise. Because you could be spending your money on better items. So as you can see, This one barely has a 60 margin. I'm not gonna bother with that. That's just me. I mean, you can if you want, but I would not bother. I also recommend staying away from sapphires, as I have found that they sell incredibly slow, like so incredibly slowly. Runes are your typical best bet, but you're limited to 10,000 for every like 4 hours. So I would check the margins frequently. Check them and check them and check them again. If it takes a while for you to buy a particular amount of an item like a death rune, I would check the margin after you bought them. So if you're gonna buy, if you're gonna go for the capped by by 10,000 minus two, for example, or something like that. But there are quite a number of items that you can get on the Grand Exchange. My recommendation is just kind of look around. So we'll take a look at bars, for example. Bar for example. I did chocolate bar once and it was slow. Iron bar can be pretty decent. So we'll check the margin on the iron bar, and all right, let's take a look. History. Yeah, that's an acceptable margin. So we're gonna buy some iron bars for 302. Sometimes the margins can be really good. Sometimes you're gonna be waiting for quite a while. So we'll buy 5K. We'll buy 5K. Actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna go with 1,000 to start off with, because iron bars can be fast or slow in my experience, and it's best to see just what the demand is for them. So if they get bought fast and they sell fast, obviously you're gonna want to do more. But locking up all your money, like if I were to get, for example, 10,000 iron bars and they were selling at a snail's pace, well then you kind of you're wasting time and wasting your money at the same time. What do I mean by that? Well, time in this case for the Grand Exchange for flipping is money. You want to put your money in things that are going to go fast, have a decent margin, and if I don't even have a single iron bar yet. That's typically not the greatest sign. I'm just gonna check the margin again on law runes. Law runes I would be careful with as well. I've been burned on law runes a few times. The margin, I found the margin with law runes, it goes quickly. So if you're not getting the action that you want on law runes, like they're not being bought as fast as you would like, I recommend waiting until there are people putting them into the Grand Exchange, because I've had I think twice now I've bought for example law runes for 250, and I have them, and the margin is I bought them for 250, and now the margin is 240 to 245 as an example. So don't hang around. Look at that! I got 2 iron bars. Whoop-dee. I'll give that a couple minutes, but you get the basic ideas. Look for items. I recommend items in between 200 to 1,000 gold. Maybe even 200 to 1,500 gold, and find a margin of 5 or greater. And if they don't just like, okay, I found a margin that's great, but I haven't. If you have never sold the item before, buy in small quantities to see how it goes, because it could be slow. You could buy them fast and they can go remarkably slow. So if you're buying something new, take your time with death runes. Buy 10,000 or whatever you can. And I mean, I've made 2.8. I've made 800K in the last 2 days, so it's pretty good. You just got to be patient, and you got to be wise with what you buy. And this is no good. This is no good. This is no good. So I'll just sell them back for the same amount. I don't even care. There we go. Get my 604 gold back. Well, the margins are terrible right now, but these are just some general tips that I wanna give you. I'm not gonna wow you with my skill to make gold by flipping, because it's honestly, you gotta come back every now and then and check. Because like right now the margins are terrible, but 45 minutes from now I could be getting a 15 margin in death runes. It does happen. So you gotta, I mean, it won't happen for me right now because I can't buy death rooms for a little while. But you gotta check, and you gotta check frequently. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon and hit the like button. And I'll be back. I'm probably gonna do the fire making one next. I've been doing some quests. I did Demon Slayer, which was remarkably easy. But yeah, I've mostly been flipping. So I'm I'm decent at it. Anyway, and when I do get a bond, I will do a video on how to make a how to flip with a membership. I just need to kind of see how the market is for members, etc. But I'll put it together at some point. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Adios.